You can feel it long before you can explain it. That subtle pressure inside your chest when someone claims to be your guide, yet something in their energy doesn't sit right. In moments like this, your higher consciousness isn't warning you out of fear. It's trying to protect your clarity. Because in every season of spiritual awakening, there is one silent challenge people face but almost never talk about: the rise of fake spiritual leaders. And if you're someone who feels like a chosen one walking your own path, the last thing you need is someone pretending to show you the way while quietly pulling you off your path. Today you're going to learn the real signs, the ones hidden behind the smooth words, perfect smiles, and carefully packaged wisdom, so you never get manipulated, drained, or led away from your own inner truth again. The strange part is this: fake leaders don't show up wearing a sign that says "I'm fake." They show up looking like the answer to the confusion you've been carrying. They appear in moments when you're searching for direction, craving growth, or trying to rise into your next level. That's why they're dangerous. They don't just target your weaknesses, they target your transformation. And if you've ever felt confused around someone who claimed to be a mentor, or you felt smaller instead of stronger after talking to them, you already touched the edge of what we're about to break open. Because this video isn't just about spotting them, it's about making sure no one ever has the power to speak over your identity again. A fake leader always starts with confidence, but look closely and you'll notice their confidence is borrowed. Their wisdom comes packaged like an inspirational quote you've heard 1,000 times. They recycle language that sounds deep, but doesn't actually help you grow. Their goal isn't to raise your self-awareness, it's to keep you orbiting around them. They paint themselves as someone who can lift you up, but they quietly build a system where you become dependent on their approval. And the more you follow them, the less you trust yourself. That's how they maintain control, not through strength but through your hesitation. Here's how it usually begins. Imagine someone who speaks beautifully, almost too beautifully. Their words flow like a perfectly scripted monologue, yet when you walk away, you can't remember a single practical thing they said. Everything sounded powerful, but nothing actually changed you. It's like they gave you a gift box filled with confetti, colorful, exciting, but completely empty. That's the first illusion. They master presentation, not transformation. Then there's the way they read people. Fake leaders are excellent at sensing insecurity. They watch your body language, your tone, the questions you ask, and they quickly figure out what you want to hear. Not what you need, but what keeps you coming back. If you feel lost, they emphasize how special your path is. If you feel stuck, they hint that you're on the edge of a breakthrough that only they can help you understand. It's like they're constantly offering you a spiritual lottery ticket, but the prize never arrives. And sometimes they'll use phrases that sound like encouragement, but there's a hidden meaning underneath. Words like, "You're not ready yet," or "You need more guidance," or "Only a few people can reach this level." Notice how every phrase subtly positions them above you. They create a ladder where they always stay on the top rung. And the truth is, they need you to stay beneath them, because the moment you rise into your own confidence, you won't need them at all. Let's talk about the energy they carry, the one your intuition senses before your mind catches up. Fake leaders often have an almost theatrical presence. Everything about them feels curated. Their voice, their posture, their stories, their enlightenment, it's like a performance they've rehearsed for years. You can feel the difference between someone who has lived the lesson and someone who memorized the lines. One speaks from experience, the other speaks from a script they hope you won't notice. Real growth doesn't need theatrics. It doesn't need someone to stand above you like a spotlight. But fake leaders want that spotlight more than they want your evolution. And here's the twist most people overlook. The more attention they crave, the less inner stability they actually have. Their confidence is fragile. Their authority collapses the moment you stop agreeing with them. If you've ever watched someone suddenly shift from calm to defensive, the moment you question them, you already witnessed the insecurity behind the mask. Another clue is the way they handle your independence. A real guide celebrates your progress, even if it means you don't need them anymore. But a fake leader sees your growth as a threat. The minute you start trusting your own judgment, they shift. They suddenly become colder, distant, or strangely critical. They may say things like, "You're drifting away," or "Your energy is off," or "You should trust me more." Translation: you're becoming harder to control. One of the most telling signs is how they respond to your boundaries. A genuine mentor respects your space, your time, and your decisions. A fake leader subtly pressures you to stay available. They'll make you feel guilty for taking a break. They'll act disappointed if you don't immediately follow their advice. Sometimes they'll act wounded, as if your independence is a personal attack. And if you've ever felt obligated to prove yourself to someone who claimed to be a guide, that was your intuition, alerting you that something is off. Think about the way they position their wisdom. Fake leaders often create an atmosphere where everything is mysterious and vague. They speak in riddles, metaphors, or overly poetic language that makes them sound enlightened, but ultimately leaves you confused. The confusion is intentional, because the more confused you feel, the more they can step in as the one who clarifies things for you. But notice how the clarity never lasts, because if you became too clear, you wouldn't need them anymore. Sometimes fake leaders use exclusivity as a tool. They love phrases like, "Only a few understand," or "You're chosen, but only if you follow this path," or "Not everyone is ready for this knowledge." They create a spiritual VIP section where the only requirement to enter is unquestioning loyalty. And if someone disagrees or walks away, they label that person as negative, unaware, or not on the same level. It's not wisdom. It's emotional manipulation disguised as enlightenment. Let's talk about the subtle power plays. Fake leaders often talk about humility, yet they constantly highlight their achievements. They mention how many people they've guided, how many breakthroughs they've caused, how much insight they possess. It's like they're building a highlight reel of themselves. Meanwhile, the people they guide rarely have actual breakthroughs, just emotional highs that fade within days. And those highs keep you chasing the next one, like a spiritual sugar rush. You might also notice they discourage critical thinking. They don't want you to analyze their advice or question their methods. They want compliance, not growth. If you start thinking independently, or exploring new perspectives or asking deeper questions, they get irritated because your independence threatens their influence. A real mentor teaches you how to think. A fake one teaches you how to follow. Another powerful sign, they treat discomfort as a tactic, not a lesson. They intentionally create moments where you feel slightly off, then swoop in to help you solve it. They manufacture problems just so they can appear as the solution. And if you look back, you'll realize half the confusion you felt only existed because they created it. And then there's the emotional atmosphere around them. After spending time with a real mentor, you feel lighter, clearer, more grounded. But after being around a fake leader, you feel drained, uncertain, or strangely guilty. It's like they take energy instead of giving it. Your body knows long before your mind admits it. The deeper you go into your spiritual awakening, the easier it becomes to sense these patterns. You start noticing the subtle shifts, the hidden motives, the inconsistencies in their energy. You begin realizing that real wisdom doesn't make you dependent. It sets you free. Real guidance doesn't ask you to shrink. It helps you expand. Real growth doesn't need a spotlight. It happens quietly, honestly, without manipulation. Here's the part no one talks about. Fake leaders appear most when you're about to rise. When you're on the edge of a higher level of self-awareness, distractions show up disguised as mentors. They feel like shortcuts, but they're actually detours. And the moment you understand this, everything shifts. Instead of looking outward for direction, you start looking inward for confirmation. You don't need someone to give you higher consciousness. You don't need someone to unlock your awakening. Growth isn't something someone hands to you. It's something you build from within. A real guide simply points you toward clarity you already have. And here's the breakthrough. The easiest way to spot a fake spiritual leader is by watching how they react when you reclaim your power. Your independence exposes their intentions instantly. If someone gets upset because you're thinking for yourself, trusting your intuition, or making your own decisions, they were never a guide. They were a gatekeeper disguised as a mentor. Your clarity intimidates counterfeit leaders. Your confidence threatens their structure. Your self-awareness breaks their illusion. The moment you stop seeking permission, their influence fades. This is your turning point. You're stepping into a phase of your journey where you see past the performance, the poetic language, the theatrics, and the false depth. You're learning to read energy at a deeper level. You're learning to trust your inner signals, and you're realizing that the real path forward isn't about following someone else, it's about learning to follow yourself. Let this be your reminder. You're not here to be controlled. You're not here to be dependent. You're not here to be impressed by someone else's wisdom more than your own. You're here to rise into clarity, awareness, and inner strength. Anyone who tries to stand in the way of that rise exposes themselves instantly. And if this message connected with you on any level, it means you're ready. ready to protect your mind, ready to trust your intuition, ready to step into a higher version of yourself without letting anyone distract you from it. If this spoke to you deeply, if it opened something inside you, if it made you see certain people differently, thank you for watching until the end. Your journey deserves clarity, strength, and truth. If you felt that today, like and subscribe in the most real and personal way, not out of habit, but because your growth truly matters.